Okay, we are now making the cannoli dough. It calls for 2 cups of flour.
What kind of flour do you use?
Either Pillsbury or Gold Medal. Okay, there's 2 cups of flour. And we'll put this over here because we're going to use that later.
Right.
And we have a tablespoon of Crisco.
Crisco.
Okay. We need a tablespoon of sugar.
A regular sugar?
Regular. Just like a tablespoon of sugar. And then we have a tablespoon of vanilla. I use real vanilla. Okay. And it calls for a dash of salt, which I would say that's a dash.
Dash.
1 egg. A half a cup of wine. I use a white wine. You can use rosé. Your mom she's used red.
Okay.
But it turns your dough dark.
That's interesting. Get it, girl.
I can't get the cork out.
Hey, man. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Half a cup of wine. This is just a cheap Sauvignon Blanc. Either that or Chardonnay.
And what does the wine do?
It makes the bubbles.
Ah.
That's what makes the bubbles in the shells. And then we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I like a lot of cinnamon. So I'll make a nice
So that's like
full teaspoon.
secret.
And I don't top it off. Yeah, there's a good teaspoon.
There you go.
Okay. Now, this is the work part.
How long do you mix it for?
Well, you gotta mix it till it's smooth like a baby's butt. And it's probably about 15 minutes. So, I'm gonna cut it in with a knife. Just get a knife and cut it in just to get it going. Get it all, try and cut the Crisco. And mix the egg in. Yeah. Uncle Hugh's not here, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay, now get your hands in there and start mixing. Yeah, you gotta wash your hands real good.
Is it sticky?
It's real sticky.
Get some grandkids around the ball. Grandkids.
And see what I mean? It looks like you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough liquid. You know, it looks funny. It looks, You're thinking, I have too much flour.
Gotta mix it.
But you just got to keep kneading it like you would a bread.
For about 15 minutes?
Well, you'll see. Yeah, it does look dry. Take that for me. Thanks. Your mom once put it in her machine. She had a machine and she let it knead it. I don't think it comes as smooth. I don't know.
Right. We should try it.
Yeah, try
We
it.
should have a cannoli competition.
Yeah.
I think we still have that machine.
Yes.
Her machine? Yeah?
So we're gonna do this for,
Oh, you got a while to go. Okay, so you just keep kneading all those crumbs until it comes together. And it's all together smooth like this. Okay, then you wrap it in saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator and let it refrigerate for at least 8 hours or overnight.
so that one's going in the
So
refrigerator.
this is going in the refrigerator while we work on this batch.
That's fine. So how much do you use about it?
I just cut a nice slice, maybe an inch or two.
Mhm.
Okay, and you don't want to use a lot of flour, but you want some so it doesn't stick to the rolling pin and to the machine. Okay, and you want it long. Okay, well,
This is a special machine.
yeah, this is just a pasta machine. It needs a pasta machine. And put it through 3 times. This is the first one.
That's
Here's the 3rd time.
sorry. There it is.
So you want it nice, thin and long. Okay. Alright, and you're gonna cut it into like 3 by 3 squares or 4 by 4, depending how big of a cannoli you want. I make them on the small side,
So are they squares or rectangles? Squares?
squares.
Okay. 3 by 3, 4 by 4.
You know, after a dozen or two, they are what they are. It should be a square. You take the form, put it in the middle, take one side, and you dip it in water. This is water. Add a little water there, take the other side, put it over and press on it so it doesn't open up when you fry it. And then that's one done. And you take your others.
Did you save the excess dough to use later, or does that
Yes.
go? All right.
Excess dough, you just pile it up, put it in your next batch that you cut off. So here's one. There's one. Let's see.
Rinse and repeat. However many times you. How many do you get out of a batch generally?
I try and get 45, 46 out of that ball of dough. I'm going to cheat on that one.
It's okay.
Put that on the inside, nobody will see it. My mother would have been flipping out. It
Perfection.
has to be perfect. I said, Mom, they're only going to bite into it and eat it. Okay. That's what I need. Okay. There you go. There's 4. Now we're going to fry the shells. You would fry it on like you would a donut or a fritter. So this is at 375. Okay. And I put in 2 at a time. And then I lower it into the grease, which I use Crisco. Regular, old, all vegetable shortening Crisco. This is a really big one. I use almost the whole thing for the fryer. If you use the small ones, get 2.
How long do you leave them in?
You leave it in until they're golden brown like this. So it takes usually, maybe a minute.
What are you guys learning?
How to make cannolis.
All right. From? Who's teaching you?
Susie.
That's right.
I'm gonna just let the ricotta drain because a lot of times it has water.
Okay. Is there a
And-
specific kind you use?
I found, because I don't have an Italian store, this Galbani whole milk. Okay, I usually use 4 pounds, but this is a 2-pounder because we're just showing you how to do it.
There it is.
Let it out. I'm going to take a knife. I'm just going to see there's water in it. You can see the water. And that when you mix it, it'll make it runny. So you want to kind of drain the water. Okay. So I'm just going to let it sit here. Okay, we're making the filling. This is Grandma's secret sauce. It is Dream Whip. Just make it according to the package. 1/2 cup of milk and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I use real vanilla. It's kind of soft, but that's as thick as it'll get. I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of vanilla
All right.
to the ricotta. I'll say 2 teaspoons. And now is when you're going to add your powdered sugar. You sweeten it to your taste. I start with, for 2 pounds, I would say, I'm going to start with a cup of powdered sugar and taste it. I'm going to start with a good heaping cup. I'm going to add some of the Dream Whip. This is, 1 package is usually enough for 4 pounds. Okay, and we're just going to take, I'm just going to add a little cinnamon to my filling, just a little bit of shake. This looks a little runny, this ricotta. I think it's sweet enough. I already chopped the chocolate, Hershey almond,
Okay.
and I've already toasted the almonds.
Look at
Okay, they're toasted and already chopped up for Christmas.
And that's not something you mix in. That's something you dip in the
That's
ends,
what
right?
you dip in the ends.
All right.
But the chocolate you add. Okay. And then you take your Hershey almond bar. Stir that in. And voila. That's it. It is runny,
That's all right.
but it's hot in here. And that cheese sat out for a couple hours because it was draining.
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, it is. Some people put that mascarpone in there,
Uh-huh.
but our family never did. Uh-oh. I'm gonna need a
Sprinkle on.
plate.
Right?
Take that plate off the top of the chicken.
And there it is.
And then and sprinkle them with powdered sugar. And we have cannolis.
It's delicious. Yeah. It's delicious.
Told you and you didn't.
What is it called?
Cannoli.
Cannoli.